So when I came back to Costa Rica, I wanted, from that moment, I was very committed to start working for purpose-driven organizations. I quit like the payroll roles that I was used to have, and then started working as freelance for sustainable tourism projects, community engagement, communication involvement, and advocacy, and any other similar topics. So you might think now that I'm a very versatile and different profile, but I think that's a very nice thing that I have always embraced.
Welcome to Career Coaching Secrets, the podcast where we talk with successful career coaches on how they built their success and the hard lessons they learned along the way. My name is Davis Nguyen, and I'm the founder of Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. Before Purple Circle, I started and scaled several 7 and 8 figure career coaching businesses myself and consulted with 2 career coaching businesses that are now doing over $100 million each. Whether you're an established coach or just building your practice for the first time, you'll discover the secrets to elevating your coaching business.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Career Coaching Secrets podcast. I'm your host, Regen, and today's guest is someone whose career path is anything but typical, all the more inspiring for it. Joining us from Costa Rica today is Karina Víquez, a program manager, career advisor, and passionate advocate for purpose-driven organizations with over 11 years of experience spanning sustainable tourism, regenerative development, and impact learning. Karina brings a deeply human approach to coaching and project leadership. She's the founder of Numu Careers, where she's helped more than 300 professionals across 17 countries find clarity, confidence, and direction in their careers. And it's my pleasure to have her on the podcast today. Welcome to the show, Karina.
Hello, thank you. Nice to meet you, and very happy to be here today.
It's a pleasure for us, Karina. So tell me a little bit more about what inspired you to become a coach and then start your own coaching business?
Yes, I think my turning point came from necessity. It's not the typical story that it was step by step and getting into the advisory services or career coaching, but it was more during the peak of the pandemic. As you mentioned, I'm from Costa Rica, so if there was no tourism, there were hundreds of people and also families that depend merely on this industry. So I started to notice, well, our unemployment got to 25% that year. So it was a really challenging situation for many of us. And so I thought, what can I do to generate like this side hustle that in the moment was becoming more important? And that moment forced me pivot to improvise a bit, but also with the confidence that a few years ago, I had just come back to Costa Rica from my MBA that I did in Spain. Since that moment in 2018, I started to get familiar with how to share your own story without like feeling you're everywhere or that you do not have like, a very interesting story to tell people. Also, how to transfer your skills, in this case, from the tourism sector that many of the professionals here were depending on to any other sector and role that they could develop. And I used to have like these career fitness sessions during the MBA that then make a lot of sense. So I started Numu. Numu means sun in Chorotega, which is a native language that used to be spoken in the northern part of Costa Rica in Guanacaste, one of the most popular places where the beaches, the most beautiful beaches are. So I grew up there. So I just wanted to share this light and warm and empathic service to other professionals. That's usually in Latin America and in my country. All the career, like the strategy, the planning of your career path is very improvised. It's not well thought, it's not very well planned. You do not get a teaching or an advisory service like this one during college or university. So any person usually just improvise or like ask for help to any other senior colleague they know, and that's it. So I wanted to be an accessible alternative to the professionals that were facing these challenges during COVID.
I like that. So you saw the need for this service, or you saw this problem and you focused on solving it. I like that. It means that you do have quite a bit of work to do there when it comes to like reaching out to people who need your services. So it's been about 5 years, if I'm not mistaken, that you've been doing this. Which part of your coaching journey have you found most rewarding from the moment you started doing it till today?
Yes, it's actually our anniversary month, June. So it's 5 years now. I usually say that the baby it's already walking and sometimes running because this venture that I started it has overcome many situations, also my own career path in parallel to these advisory services that I give. I do have a job. So yeah, it has been quite a ride and very meaningful considering the different stories that I have been able to touch and to transform mainly. As I mentioned before, I did the MBA, but then I did a major career change. So I was the first client myself. So I started like trying different ways, tools, videos, anything that could be accessible to try to analyze which next steps would make sense according to my profile. During the MBA, I decided to move to the sustainability and entrepreneurship. So when I came back to Costa Rica, I wanted, from that moment, I was very committed to start working for purpose driven organizations. So I quit like the payroll roles that I was used to have and then started working as freelance for sustainable tourism projects, community engagement, communication involvement, and advocacy, and any other similar topics. So you might think now that I'm a very versatile and different profile, but I think that's a very nice thing that I have always embraced. I think incredible professionals come to Numu and they struggle not because lack of skills, but because they lack clarity and to have the right tools according to their own path. Yeah.
Cool. And right now, how would you say your time is divided between your coaching business and your job?
Nowadays, I'm dedicating a bit more to Numu because I'm doing like this. I relaunched in the last 2 months. I did the relaunch of the brand and also changed the logo and did a little bit of marketing and also social media efforts there. And also very interested in trying to consolidate what I already have to give even more tailored services. Since 5 years ago, I started with a CV or resume writing, and then LinkedIn optimization, and then interview prep. But now services that the same clients have asked for. It's been very interesting to detect what are their necessities and based on that to take action. So yes, currently I work as a freelance consultant for projects related to regeneration and tourism for LATAM in general, for Latin America, not only Costa Rica. And at the same time, I'm currently looking for a job. So, again, my own client. Yeah, I'm very interested in combining the intersection that I have between education or academia,
Mhm.
also with sustainability and regeneration that I'm very involved in climate change and the planetary challenges that we face as a society. And then entrepreneurship and NGOs. So, yeah.
And when it comes to the people that you're working with, is there a big target group that usually falls into working with you, or is it generally broad? You typically work with anyone?
80% of my clients are women, and that has not been something that I had like any impact or drive that. It has just happened. So I think women in general have more focus on deciding what they want to change in their career, or at least to have that curiosity of, hey, I'm here now, but what could happen if I explore this other market, or if I would like to try remote opportunities in Canada, even if I'm in Costa Rica. So yes, I think as I can offer this combination of corporate, consulting, sustainability, academia, people also feel like very comfortable coming to me and sharing their own mixed profiles, because I think that's where we're going nowadays. Also, so besides women, people any ages, like from very early students that are looking for their first internship to senior global directors that I have had the honor to help or to guide. They're usually in a transition. So that's also something interesting that I have analyzed from the clients. The CV writing is like the starting point, but then, for example, our digital presence is super important nowadays. So there we can also guide them with the LinkedIn profile and cover letters and how to be ready with the new trends that are happening in the recruitment processes, because something that is painful, but it's also like a bit of reality here, is that many people do not think about their career until they're fired from one day to another. So there you have a profile of someone in their mid 40s or 50s that has spent the last 20 years in the same company, maybe a couple of promotions, different roles, but they were just like into that small world and didn't get any further training. So that ambition is something that we lack, at least in this region. And that's something I really promote to, hey, question yourself. What is missing? What you can do? At least one course per year. Like to be a more dynamic professional and not to wait until some bad news come and then you gotta run, right?
So being proactive
Yes.
about the future, improving, getting a new skill over time, always like having something that will always be there for you. Generally, like in terms of skills, that would be like the main thing. And yeah, setting your LinkedIn for success as well. That is also a strong move while you also have your job. Where do clients find you, or where do you find your clients in terms of marketing channels?
For many years, I was used to almost entirely to the mouth-to-mouth recommendation or reference, because I was focused in my other 8 to 5 p.m. job. So it was just per recommendation, which is quite interesting because it's very powerful. It's like, hey, I trust this person 100%, so I need to give them back what they deserve, that quality, high level service. But yeah, now, as I mentioned before, I'm doing like this relaunching. So I'm getting a little bit more into the dynamic of social media, and also participating in events, work for job fairs, also being like speaker in universities here. I also do a lot of pro bono in universities here, and also something that we have that are called like technical high schools. So you finish your high school degree, but also you also have like 1 or 2 years of some specialization, like accounting or customer service agent. So it's like a mixed education model that makes very well and works a lot for young people that are starting their motivations, their passion. So now I would say it's more like 50-50, still the recommendations. As you mentioned during my intro, I have had people from a lot of countries besides Costa Rica, also North America and Europe. Many Costa Ricans that are living in those countries and they recommend me. So yes, it's more like a mix. In the past 4 years, I used to work in a university here. So I think that increased like at least the need to the graduate students to think about career in a more planned way.
And when you worked at the university, were you working like in any career related, like?
No. Yes, I was in charge of an entrepreneurship program, but it was more like a further training, continuing education. But most of these students were in those, like in that transition between corporate or family business roles to the more climate change, sustainability, or regeneration roles. So that was a very insightful, I think, path where you need to work on how my skills are going to be at the service of life, how to, if I am very good, I don't know, organizing events or leading projects, so how can I apply that on a more purpose-driven organization? Always at the end of the day is the same principle that we follow. Yeah, it's not like a generic coaching recipe, but it's I have had the chance to witness like very meaningful examples and stories through Numu. So I think that's what makes me more excited about all of this.
Right now, with you're also like looking for a job. Are you also thinking of goals in terms of like further growing your coaching business on the side? Do you have any goals there for the future?
Yes, I would like to expand the services that I provide and also maybe to duplicate with a couple more people the team. But it's obviously a more slower process considering that I want to be very responsible with the quality of the services that I provide. Currently, I'm training one person, so we're in that process of facilitating this person some clients, some junior profile, or the areas that he's more familiar with. So yes, I would love to get to more people, but besides huge words like escalating, or I really love like this personal interaction that I generate. And it's not like from one day to another that I facilitate. I usually have like plans or like 2 week, 3 week, 1 month plan. So it's a more step by step and respecting your own rhythm or your own personal situation. So yes, I would like to keep with that model that has worked really well. And yeah, help people to transform their reality.
And when it comes to this, you mentioned a new team member that you're training. Is this also going to be doing coaching just like you, or is it going to be helping you on some admin stuff or admin work?
Yeah, coaching the same topics. I think it's important that it doesn't depend merely on me. Also, what I have been doing with all these rebranding is that to improve like all the guides and the curated materials that I facilitate, so it's easier for me to have like a more fluent process. Yeah.
Cool. And I really like that you're thinking strategically about this and expanding even in the early stages, making sure that you are not the bottleneck or your time is not the bottleneck of your business. So it can always like be scaled further into the future. Um, is there, what would you say have been some investments that you've made on your coaching business apart from the team member that you just shared? Has there been any investment that you feel like actually has grown the coaching business or has helped you gain more clients?
Yes, well, since 2020, I have not stopped. So I have taken a lot of workshops and complementary trainings related to the a more like comprehensive well-being of people. So pedagogy, like for more time management skills and how people learn, because each journey can be very different. If one person has some, I don't know, TDHD or any different neurodivergent bioleadership from the UK, I took a course there related to the more sustainability part, but like also how to guide these transformational journeys. I have taken like yes trainings from New Zealand, UK, Chile, Mexico. So I the multicultural richness that you can get, and also, well, obviously, if for every client that I advise, I do research and I familiarize with their role, their sector, the keywords. So the more I learn, the more I understand that um, each case is quite unique, and that what I have always said is that your story is the most powerful asset that you have. So it's quite important to put that genuinity. That despite what the market is saying, and if everyone is talking about something, that you are loyal to your essence. So I think yes, investing in learning each time more, and also yes, getting more people to the team, and anything that I can participate. I think that's a nice way to learn from others.
What would you say is the biggest challenge right now to further growing your coaching business? What would you say is that main bottleneck for you?
I would say it's the segmentation nowadays, because here we have like this situation that we have the huge consultancy firms that are quite expensive, and if you're an employee, it makes sense like they cannot afford that. And then on the other side is the template that you by yourself can download from any resume.com page. But it's quite to generate that need that I mentioned before, that people need a career strategy and they need an MBA plan. And most Costa Ricans and Latin Americans do not have naturally that need.
Mhm.
So what I have been doing lately is like to give a lot of examples, cases, like how can I apply this if I am already prepared, if I am given like at least baby steps in my career, I am better prepared that if I'm just improvising what it comes. So I think that's one important challenge. And also segmentation, considering that, well, yes, the how can you say that, the power acquisition that they have, and also it's quite important like to analyze clients due to their goals, because some of them do not have any hurry, but some of them have been unemployed for 6 months and are desperate now. So you need like to be very flexible to offer services that will work for any situation that you are facing. So yes, I think those are like the main challenges now.
Yeah,
Yes.
it doesn't seem valid, especially given that like, being in Costa Rica, that also like the challenge, meaning that maybe the coaching part of it, and this is a challenge actually in US too. A lot of times in US, I've gotten this feedback from coaches where clients don't necessarily feel like they need coaching, or like they see it as a luxury, or they see it like, oh, I can figure this out on my own. I feel like that is also a similar issue with in Costa Rica as well. There's a lot of people that don't believe in coaching, but I feel like over time, as soon as you get more referrals, you see the success, that kind of like over time is gonna be broken as culture or belief that is there. Cool. And
Yes. Yes, I just wanted to add that that's one of the main reasons, with all the respect with all the coaches, but I think that word can also sometimes generate a bias or a barrier, because I would like to be remembered more as a facilitator or as a weaver, because I do not have all the answers and I cannot assure that tomorrow you will have the job, but I will definitely help you to be more prepared for that process. So, and to align your purpose with the career. So I think that's a more like genuine and realistic way of sharing this need that, hey, we're both adults, we're both professionals. I can help you. I have helped these other professionals. Here are some examples, here are some ideas. And also, like, I think LinkedIn is quite helpful with this, because we do not know a lot of professional realities that we could have in other region in the world or any other country. So I think you cannot imagine how many times at the end of the service they tell me, wow, I didn't know I knew. So it's quite interesting, because it's something like confidence, intuitive, but then at the end they realize it's very tangible what you get. So yes.
And you're also in a unique position as a coach to see what is working, because you're working with multiple clients at the same time. So you see like what strategies have worked for most clients, and like you're always up to date with what's going on with the job industry, and then just making sure that you are like providing the best strategies for the clients. So obviously, if they put a lot of effort, if they had all the knowledge, can always do it on their own, but you'd be like a shortcut. You'd be like where they would go to for yeah, definitely a shortcut to their job, and not just getting a job, but maybe giving the job where they actually feel like they belong into. So yeah, thank you so much, Karina. Is there any final advice you'd like to give to other coaches who are looking to scale their impact?
I think we can't stop believing in our ability to help others redesign their realities, because career environments can be very challenging, even sometimes. So it's quite satisfying, and also like give you a lot of tranquility to know that you have people that got your back, that are able to help you, to give you some advice, and not just like to give you step 1, 2, and 3 and then disappear, but to be there like a mentor does. I think that's a very important role that we need to do for, and also that we're living through a critical moment on Earth, on this planet, so that every job should be a green job. I think that's a message I would like to share. Whether you're in the early stages or a senior role, that let's try to use our skills to support well-being, biodiversity, soil, local culture. And if that sounds very far away from your reality, that means you have some work to do. So I think that's the thank you for this space. I really enjoy it. And yes, so I invite anyone to follow Numu on our pages.
So for anyone who wants to find you or connect with you, they can go into your LinkedIn or Víquez Murillo. They will find your profile, and yeah, they will be able to reach out or message you there. You also have your email in the profile and also your phone number, so people can directly go into there and reach out. So thank you so much, Karina, for coming to the show.
No, thank you. Thank you for the invitation. Have a great evening.
That's it for this episode of Career Coaching Secrets. If you enjoyed this conversation, you can subscribe to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you're listening to this episode to catch future episodes. This conversation was brought to you by Purple Circle, where we help career coaches scale their business to 7 and 8 figures without burning out. To learn more about Purple Circle, our community, and how we can help you grow your business, visit joinpurplecircle.com.